Hello, guys, my Dream It, Achieve It family. Welcome to another fantastic and, of course, you know it, an exciting episode of Dream It, Achieve It. Always providing you with exclusive content when it comes to entrepreneurial story covers. Today, it is quite a jam-packed show. Not so long ago, Eswatini Junior Achievement Organization, in partnership with Premier Future Foodies, did an initiative whereby equip abamfana labancane basesikolweni, probably in high school, ukuthi bakhona ukustrive in the business of making food, which is producer for future chefs bed for Eswatini. So basically they started this initiative to just expose young people ukuthi they can still make their business plans when it comes to kupheka nalokunye when it comes to just making food and just making sure that they make it in the culinary business. So basically Petile Masilela, who's always the managing director, who's been the managing director of Eswatini Junior Achievement, just talked to us about how this initiative was started, why it's important ukuthi bamfana labancane baba equipping ala skills about ukuthi bakhone ukustrive ebusinessini. Maningi ama-business lesingawaqala but right about now sithatha kubuka ukuthi emabhodo bamfana bayakhona yini ukuwashaya. Let's have a look. Junior Achievement Eswatini, together with Premier Future Foodies, made a cooking competition with 30 schools were selected to battle it out for the first prize of 15,000 emalangeni. At first, there was Premier Future Foodies Bootcamp held at Nazarene High, where all competing students were taught entrepreneurial opportunities in the food industry. 4 students represented each school through hands-on activities. The students were trained in discovering their target market, budgeting, shopping, having a winning recipe, and presenting their final products. The competition concluded with real cooking, food tasting, and selling. At the end of the first Junior Achievement Premier Foodies competition, Nazarene were crowned the champions, followed by Vula Masango, and the third place was taken by Londunduma High. Junior Achievement Executive Director Ms. Petile Masilela tells us the idea behind such great competitions, and she also further appreciated the love and support from Eswatini Premier Foodies Company.
Junior Achievement has identified an opportunity in addressing the high unemployment rate of young people in the country. So one of the opportunities that we've seen is introducing food entrepreneurs, which is an existing skill that is abundantly available, and almost everyone has that skill. However, there are certain standards that one has to follow so you can win the market when you are selling food products. So it's important to teach our children at a younger age when they are doing home economics at school these entrepreneurship standards, the market standards, customer service, display, branding. It's a lot that children can learn at a lower level of education, so that by the time they choose their career path, maybe they choose to go to university, they know where they are strong in. So the home economics classes have already done the basics of food preparation, but we need to go a step further and introduce a component of being economically active in that kind of a space. So these are our future hospitality leaders in the industry. So it's important to train them. We had 20 schools that we are piloting with in partnership with Premier Bakeries and Dot Good, which is from South Africa. So Premier Bakeries is our main sponsor for the project. We've piloted with 20 schools. We really wanted to start with more, but you know, a pilot has to start small. We learn and then we develop from that. We are hoping next year we are going to grow bigger. And yeah, we've seen quite a lot of innovation, creativity among the students. They've been able to give us new ideas that we can use to cook our food, healthy food. What is exciting me is that the issue of healthy products has been at the apex of every type of creativity that the students were doing. And we are glad to introduce these new products in the market. Even Premier Foods was actually surprised that the children were able to mix 3-4 of their products and came up with one type of food, which we haven't seen in the market yet. And that is good. Today's conversation was beautiful. I loved it. For a start, I think we did very well. We do have some gaps here and there that we've identified, which we will need to grow on. I'll just make an example. Today it was public voting. So anyone had an opportunity to vote. You taste the food, you vote. So we didn't have much control in it. But I think next time we'll have a judging sheet and have judges so that deserving students can be able to see where they didn't do well, where they did well, and be able to give the feedback to those who didn't well. Today, it was not about judging, it was about public voting. So I think everyone should understand that. And we want to congratulate the winners of the competition. Londu Duma on third prize, Vlamasango on second prize, and Manzini Nazarene on first prize. Congratulations. However, I think I would like to congratulate all the students that participated today. It was a very good decision that they made, and I'm sure they had a lot of fun.
This was such a phenomenal initiative for Junior Achievement to start with all collaborating partners. Sasibonile ukuthi bamfana nabo bangakhona kupheka bakhele ikusasa labo ngekuthi bakhone kustrive in the business of cooking, guys. I hope that I was going to get a few tips as to kuchali bote, because oh my god, it's really really hectic in the kitchen. You have to love it and you have to be passionate to come up with different recipes that you can try every now and then. Moving on the show, we just want to take a look at what happened with the initiative, a workshop rather, ya women in trade. At Tams George, where Women in Trade was just starting an initiative nabo khona nabafundisa khona local entrepreneurs, particularly farmers, guti bangagcini la kangwane producer ema products labanawo, but babuke the bigger market which is exporting to other countries. So let's have a listen guti uthini managing director our Women in Trade. Her name is Sebenzile Dlamini, to tell us more about the initiative and what it means for them and other farmers or other entrepreneurs in the country. Ngicela ungichazele kabanti ke ukuthi namuhla what is happening today. I know that you have a lot of women that you're teaching entrepreneurship skills, economic development. There's so much more. Can you briefly explain to us?
Women in Trade and Development essentially focuses on economic empowerment through a three-pronged approach. The first one is women's rights. And in that sense, we are capacitating women to know that it is within their rights, based on the Constitution of Eswatini, to generate wealth and enjoy the fruits of their labor. We also want women to know that when they establish businesses, they need to dream big. They need to think of a market that is bigger than Eswatini and penetrate the international market. But we're aware of the challenges that they face. The first one being information that is not presented in a manner that can be understood by everyone, especially people who have no experience in trade policy or trade law, because the trade agreements that enable women and other businesses to access international markets are designed by lawyers in most cases. So that is why it is not the best method to disseminate information by simply giving the agreements to the enterprises. So the purpose of this workshop then is to decode and simplify the information so that they can be aware that even if you are still producing at home, you should make sure that you design the product in a way that will be acceptable to the international market. Most of the products that you are consuming in Eswatini already, especially beauty products, are from foreign countries. And when you visit those countries, you listen to the stories, and we marvel at the fact that those products were designed in a home environment at the early stages. And then the government and civil society organizations supported those enterprises and made sure that they get to the platform, which is at an international level through trade exhibitions, trade missions, so that those businesses can be able to overcome the barriers that are associated with trying to access a market in an international market in a foreign language to you, and logistics that are really not familiar to an SME in a small market. So that is what we hope to achieve. And then the third leg that we support women with is just the personal development and an entrepreneurial mindset, because we feel that sometimes the barriers are internal. Because if you do not believe that you are worthy as a woman to be a millionaire or even a billionaire, even if you are given access to information and resources, you are unlikely to utilize that effectively and, generate a turnover that will be significant and make your enterprise attractive to financiers for follow-on funding and, create the trust that you need to build with consumers in the international market.
That is very, very inspiring and very, very you're very well spoken, and I'm sure there's people that are looking up to you and just interested. In particular, Tina sebenza ngemabhizinisi vele when it comes to entrepreneurship skills. So I just want to find out my business that people are just coming up with ideas rather, because I know that you're facilitating the workshop. But what type of businesses or business ideas are you looking for?
Okay, that's a very important question. We could have chosen to select priority sectors for this workshop. The benefit of that would have been that the information would be, focused on those sectors, and the business women operating those businesses would come up with more comprehensive information. But the challenge with that is you tend to exclude Emaswati, especially women in rural areas who are not yet trading in those sectors. For that reason, we wanted to acknowledge women who are also in the creative space, for example, because we know, or some of us know, that handcraft has played a crucial role in increasing household income in Eswatini. But it is a sector that is still underdeveloped. Yet the artifacts that are produced by the women sell at a really high value in international markets. But oftentimes you find that the women are not even aware that it might not have a high value in Eswatini, but it has a very high value in a foreign market. And if they could just make more of those items and be consistent and operate in a network so that they can always have the production, because international markets do not want inconsistency. So that is why we're open to several sectors. There's agriculture. Agriculture is divided into three. We have vegetables and fruits, then we have crops, and then we have livestock. Then we have the creative spaces. We also have those who are processing condiments or high-value specialty foods. We also have enterprises that are in the services industry, because services are lucrative, because you do not need to plow a lot of money in buying inputs. You just use your skills, your networks, and communication in order to distribute information and distribute the services that you are delivering. So we want women to be stronger in services as well. I mean, in multimedia, it's quite interesting that I'm interviewed by a lady, because in most cases you find that the sector is dominated by male, So we are trying to change the narrative around all the products and industries that women operate in, and to amplify their stories and give them access to opportunities that will enable them to grow.
And as much as we are focusing on the bigger picture, ukuthi bamvu laba la Eswatini abakhiqita ema goods and services abo bakhone kwa export to other to other countries, rather, excuse my French, there should be quality and standards that people abide by. It is a process, and you must make sure that you have all the documentation. Right about now, Spuna Guva, Nelsiwe Pagati, who is a standard and quality consultant, tositshela kabantu ukuthi what are the necessary things that people need to have, and why is it important for people to get to that level whereby they're able to export their goods and services to outside countries, because logo siyatho ukuthi iletha i-revenue in the country and also it grows the business. But let's take a look at all the things that people need to have, especially local entrepreneurs, because we're focusing on small businesses and also big businesses ukuthi bafika kanjani kule zinga lokuthi bakhona ukuthatha goods and services abo bawa-transport or bawa-export to other countries. Can you tell us more about, what needs to be done in order to get to that level lapho khona sokhona kuthengisa your goods and services outside the country?
Okay, thank you for the question. Okay, loko mcoka sisi, as an SME, we need to understand ukuthi emave anema standards and regulations lahlukahlukene. So for an SME to be able to export their products, they need to understand the standards that relate to their products, and also they need to understand legal requirements for their export destination countries. By export destination countries where they want to export, because different countries have got different rules. Yeah, so when you export to the USA, for example, they have got different regulations from the EU. But the main important thing is you must understand your market. And once you understand your market, then you're going to know what they need or their market needs in terms of your product, and you work towards that. Because again, what is important is that standard as an SME, we need to move from the mindset of that standards are a financial burden, but EMA standards assisted to improve our business processes so that we can get benefits from implementing those standards, financial benefits because we're in business. Yeah.
Yes, that's true. And speaking about just taking your business and exporting or importing, whatever the case may be, can you tell us more about why it's important for a small business person to get certified in terms of quality?
Okay, certification, it's a marketing tool, because if we are competing over the same customer, or over the same market, obviously if I come with certification, it means I have evidence that I can do better than you.
Yes.
That doing better than you is in terms of safety of the product, in terms of consistency. Imakethe imqoka kakhulu ngeconsistency. So quality management system standards asisita ukuthi we meet customer needs and their expectation, and also asisita ukuthi we improve our processes on a daily basis. So quality management system standards are there to assist us to do things consistently. How do we do things consistently? It's by documenting our procedures, our policies, our everything that we do. Our day-to-day work is documented for traceability. Traceability is very key. I will emphasize on that one. Imqoka traceability, because customer ethu noma imakethe yethu ifuna kwathi ukuthi whatever we're eating, if it is a food product or whatever product, where is it coming from? We need to know its origin. That talks to traceability. So it's the batching system. So from the very beginning, where you get your raw material, you need to know where you're coming from. You need to know the quality assurance of that raw material. And also now you have your raw material. During your processes, how are you ensuring that the final user is safe from your product?
We hope that you guys are able to learn a thing or two ukuthi ngakalani ukuthi bamfu bakhona ukuthatha their business to the next level. In the same workshop that we went to, guys, we're also able to scout for 2 people that are already in the farming business, also in a big scale. The first one that we have is Fezile Hlope. She grows avocados and bananas. She has 350 trees of avocados. I know it is quite phenomenal. She was telling us about her business. Business and we also have Babet Lamini, who is already exporting, guys. We have people that are in Eswatini, as far as you can think. Goods and services in other countries. Babet Lamini gayena wenda ema baby vegetables usichazela kabanti ke naye about his business and ukuthi uqale kanjani ibusiness yakhe nalokuthi sofika kanjani ezingeni lapho khona exporter khona. We want you guys to be able to learn from people that are already in Eswatini and people that are leaving testimonies that it can be done. Let's have a look. Me, I have a beautiful lady once again. Her name is Fezile Hlophe. She's an entrepreneur and a part of this workshop that is empowering economic development. Osichazela kabantu ukuthi ngabe nina namuhla ufunzeni in particular. Unjani uSifezile?
Ngiyaphila sisi.
Ngiyaphila nami. Ngicela usichazele before I even get to ukuthi namhla ngabe yini lo ifunzile. Can you just tell us ukuthi wena une business? This is particularly a program that empowers youth employment or development through entrepreneurship skills. So sicela usichazele kabantu ukuthi wena njengoba uyi-entrepreneur ibusiness yakho ingani.
Okay, ngingifezile Hlophe. Ngina 34 weminyaka. I am a female.
Yes.
Ngisuka enkundleni yaseNtondozi. Nangisuka enkundleni yaseNtondozi ngilima tihlahla temakotapeni. Nangilima emakotapeni ang 420 letihlahla. Then 70 of them sanema fruits. Ngidothengisa nje nyalo end of May. So na banana 2 hectares. So ke nase ngithengisa tonke letihlahla tami. Ngito wakha imali leneng. So ngidvutane nekwenta imillion. Nangifika nje ku 40 years ngidabe senginayo imillion.
Ngasitamele kube umngane wakho ngiwathanze kakhulu ama-millionaires. You have 420 wetihlahla temakotapeni.
Yes.
Oh my God, that is so crazy, and I'm just learning today about entrepreneurship. Ungathi ufunzeni?
Okay, ngifunze kwekucala funa sende i-collaboration.
Yes.
Funa sisatane sibe banengi nasenda lo msebenzi. Kuze ngitokhona kuthi imarket ibe inkulu. Ngeke ngikhona ngingedwana. Ngidzinga abantu lengitosebenta nabo umhlaba wonke sibe banengi. Yes.
Ngivela ngekhathi kukhulunywa nangokuthi you guys are speaking about trade ukuthi ningagcini ngekuthengiselana locally but like export some of the goods that you have to South Africa. Is that something that you are willing to achieve for your business as well?
Yes, sisi ngifunzile withadi unginikelwadi kakhulu. Ngifunzile ngema standard lekufuna ngiwende ezingisakhula njengoba tihlahla tisedincane letinye. Funa ngicale ngente standard sakhona kuze ngifike esigabeni seku exporta. Funa ucale titincane letimvo takho. Funa nale market uyifune before usengakendi letimvo takho uyabona. Yes.
And njengoba nje you are such a versatile businesswoman, ngicela ungichazela kabantu ukuthi njengoba unetihlahla temakotapeni mase kufikele isikhathi sekuvuna, how did you come about finding your market for your business?
Okay, for now ngoba bengithi ngenta imvo nje ngifuna kutiphilisa uyabo, but ke nambodi akangikhipheli ngaphandle. Uthi tutowuta kimi angithathele masambuli then emva kwaloko nakhanza ukuthi right uyalithatha likotapeni lami. Yes.
Nalokuthi ke oftentimes bamfu emakhaya banawo lama ideas ekucala ema business, ungakhanza ukuthi lo munye unengadi lencane nje ekhaya but uva ngazuthi uya dispowerisheka when it comes to ngifuna kufika kule level leyo. Oftentimes sibuka the bigger picture singafuni kufaka lo msebenzi. What would you say to someone lofuna kucala ibusiness naye but yena usene small scale, mhlambe usene ngadi ekhaya, mhlambe wakha tikhwama? What would you say to someone encourage nje who wants to start their own business as well?
Ngingacela emaswatini bomake bethu bobabe bethu kuthi sisebancane ningasikhobosi, cela nisinike umhlaba siwusebenzise sisebende kuze sitokhona kusita situkulwane lesitako, ngoba letihlahla njengoba ngikhuluma sitawuphila sihlahla iminyaka lemithe. Kwendeke mina sengihambe emhlabeni but batawusala labasalako kube sikhumbuto phinze kube yinfo lelive leligainako ngaleti hlahla lengatihlanyela.
Silima ema baby veggies silima Forbes Reef eHawaii for the export market.
Njengoba wena sowufike ezingeni lapho khona sowukhona exporter your products to other countries, bengicela ungichazele kabantu ukuthi what were some of the processes that you went through nekuthi bamfu labafuna kufika kulelo zinga lelo bafika kanjani?
Ukuqala nje ngathi kufanele ube nepassion yalelo kwentako. U-understand lokho ukuthi kutahamba kuba nema-challenges endleleni. But if you're passionate, you'll stick around despite lama challenges latawuba khona. And then bese soyazi ukuthi ufunani wena empilweni, because if utawati then utawuba ne-direction yokuthi ufuna uphuma ubhekephi na ufuna lelo kufunakho.
So njengoba sikhuluma ukuthi soya exporter, do you need certain documentation besikhuluma ne-consultant labe esichazela kabantu about what needs to be required for you to get to that standard? And ngicela ungichazele kabantu ke ukuthi what were some of the things that you went through ukuze ukuthi ufike kulelo zinga lelo?
Okay, ku-exporter kukabili. There is a export to South Africa, which is within the SADC region. And then there's export to the EU and other countries. There's a different set of documentation khona. So maybe for the South African market khona ngila kungazi simplified khona, because khona nje you just need to establish market yakho, build relations with your market, understand the market requirement ukuthi idzinga ini, and then you come back and execute logo labathi bayakudzinga, and then you export. In terms of documentation ke lapho, because siyadlelana ne-South Africa, kuba nje ngilabo bo-fight nalabo import permit lotabatzinga from Swaziland and South Africa. But ke nasesikhuluma nga-EU sesikhuluma nge-different story. But nakhona nawukhuluma nga-EU sefuneke ubukela lawo mafe ladlelana nelife lakangwane. Kunalama agreements lekuthiwa ngema-EPA agreements, economic partnership agreements, of which EU is part of the SADC block ku-EPA. So kusho khona ukuthi ungakhona kuthengisa khona ungakutinsela. Yes, so khona ke ngilapho nasi saphindze sabuka khona kusikumbe singakhona kufaka khona sithenge khona. So i-documentation yakhona ke lapho sekudzinga ukuthi kungene nabo SRA, because sekunabo certificate of origin nako konke lokho losokuhamba ke kona through SRA.
Is your business doing well now that imarket yakho ayikho la kangwane kuphela but also in South Africa?
Njengoba ngishito ukuthi kuyange ukuthi wenda ini, kuyange ukuthi line lakho likuphi. Ngeke nje uzuta export al-cabbage. Because everyone when uyalenda al-cabbage, so it doesn't make sense to export al-cabbage. So that is why you must know what you want, and then njengoba ngishito ukuthi uqale market and work your way backwards. So imarket yangaphandle, so vele ngidawuthola ke letilimo noma le demand yangaphandle, bese ngiyabuya ke mina sengido executor la khaya, then ngese ngiya export.
Well, beautiful people, it has definitely been a jam-packed show from the beginning. Lasicala kubona khona bamfana bafunza ngekuthi bangastrive kanjani in the cooking business. So just finding out about initiative ya women and trade ukuthi bamfu uma business lamancane rather noma bosoma business labancane nalabakhulu rather bakhona transporter ema products abo. We hope that you are inspired. We hope that this is living testimony ukuthi nawe ungakhona kwenta. Angeke ke kuzuqale vele ube na 350 trees of avocados like Fezile Hlophe, but you can start with the little that you have. If you have 5 trees of avocados, make sure that you can start with the little that you have and just secure your market. Siyathemba ukuthi nifundile lokuningi kakhulu ku Dream It Achieve It, and also just learning more about ukuthi a cooking business ingaqala kanjani noma kungasita kanjani bamfana basesikolweni, because there's so many opportunities that are out there and we're always advocating for people ukuthi baqale ema business abo, and this is just an inspiring story ukuthi nebamfana bakhona ekuqala kufunza basese bancane kakhulu. With that being said, we have come to the end of our program. Don't forget that if you want an entrepreneurial story cover, you can contact me or drop a WhatsApp line on 76281924 so that we can come and cover you and see your inspiring business that you're doing. Noma ngabe isesengane noma ngabe seyivele indlondlobele, we're always there to just expose you guys to the different markets that you need, and also just to find out more ukuthi business yenu idzinga sito kanjani, and also that ukhona kuba ne market and people to find out more about the services that you provide. But from me, Nomalungelo Jele and the Dream It Achieve It team, we'll see you guys next time. Mwah.